Hey counselors, welcome to another video of Counselors Tips. This educational video is going to cover some general information about anxiety. I am unable to cover all the information related to anxiety in just one video. So that leads me to making many videos, not just on anxiety, but also to help clients deal with, reduce, and potentially eradicate anxiety. Anxiety overall is a feeling of being afraid, nervous, tense, or worried. Unhealthy anxiety is when these feelings go on for a long time, don't necessarily vacillate, or are occurring at a higher baseline than anxiety for motivation. People with anxiety may not always know what's going on. It can make people feel overwhelmed. It can make them feel emotionally or intellectually paralyzed. It can make them avoid. It can cause procrastination, where a person just stalls and makes no decision or movement. Anxiety has been known to mask itself in other somatic symptoms. Some physical signs of anxiety are these: numbness, heart pounding, shortness of breath. A person can become irritable and have an outburst of anger or rage. People may have difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep. There may be sweating and muscle tension. A person may have difficulty concentrating, inability to focus, pay attention, retain information. They may feel nauseous. They may have an upset stomach or develop irritable bowel. A person may tremble or shake. They may become lightheaded, dizzy. They may faint, or they may have trouble breathing. There is a lot of ways that anxiety can show up. There are several types of different anxiety disorders. Most of the people coming to counseling for anxiety have generalized anxiety disorder. Generalized anxiety is having extreme worry or fear about a lot of different things in our lives. Separation anxiety is when there's an intense fear or worry or concern about another person when they're away from us. We'll see this in children, but sometimes people haven't grown out of this type of worry or separation anxiety, and they'll transfer this same kind of concern to other loved ones, such as adult children, siblings, parents, spouses, or partners. Social anxiety can be summed up as a person having extreme fear of being humiliated in social situations. We'll see social anxiety around people needing to attend functions, go to events where there are people that they're unfamiliar with, being in social situations where they have already been embarrassed, and having a great deal of extreme worry or fear. Phobias is another form of anxiety. This is extreme anxiety within relation to things or events. A person could have a great deal of fear around things such as snakes, or another example is a great deal of fear around flying. Panic is an extreme form of anxiety. People who have panic attacks oftentimes feel like they're dying or having a heart attack. They're having an uncontrollable physical sensation related to their anxiety. Anxiety can be healthy. For instance, I use anxiety to help motivate me. So if I have to get something done or I have to get someplace on time, anxiety helps me get moving. It keeps me from not attending to details, being lethargic, procrastinating. So having some anxiety for survival is healthy. There are situations where anxiety or high anxiety is very effective, such as there's a person who appears to not have good intention walking towards me down the street. I feel heightened anxiety, so what do? I cross the street. I try to get around more people so that I am not by myself or isolated, thus making an opportunity to become a victim. I may get my phone out and get ready. These are real situations where heightened anxiety can be a protective measure. There is regular worry, which can be very functional. If we are getting ready for something and we're trying to prepare in a way that helps us get our part done or addresses things that need to be done, then worry can help motivate us to consider all the details in order for us to be prepared. But worrying about things that we have no control over, worrying about things that are too far off into the distance, worrying about people that are not our business to worry about, trying to manage too many things or be concerned about too many things at one time can become debilitating. This is unhealthy worry, and thus cause a person to have stronger feelings of anxiety that become tremendously overwhelming. For people who have anxiety or extreme forms of anxiety, thoughts may look like these: thinking that there is danger everywhere, thinking that a thing or a situation is more dangerous than it is, worrying way too much that bad things will happen to them or others, constant thoughts or images of bad things that may happen. Some behaviors that may show up when a person has anxiety or extreme anxiety is avoidance or procrastination. People may avoid situations or people out of fear of bad things happening. There may be clinging to things or to people or the refusal to depart from them. People may develop temper tantrums or anger outbursts when they feel unreasonable fear of being separated from the person or thing that they're attached to. People may develop repetitive rituals in order to make themselves feel safe or secure. When working with a client, you want to help them understand that their thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are interconnected. They don't stand alone. So if the client has impressions from a situation that were really dangerous, they developed thoughts and feelings in relation to that situation that was truly dangerous. Help a client understand how they are transferring these thoughts or feelings to other situations in an attempt to manage or control the outcome of these new situations that really may not be dangerous. You want to help the client investigate how they are avoiding, not facing up to their worry or fears, what the outcomes are, and whether the client is able to use anxiety functionally or if it has become dysfunctional. The difficulty is anxiety is not caused by one thing. When worry and fear are not necessary, meaning that it isn't a dangerous situation, we've done what we can, and we're really only focusing on ourselves, fear and worry are not necessary and are too strong and interfere with life, that's a time when it would be best for people to get some kind of help. A seasoned clinician can help the client explore some of the underlying causes and events that have led the person to have a great deal or extreme amount of worry or fear. Help a client explore any situations that were difficult for the client to handle, any poor experiences, stress, chronic illness, places where they have experienced instability or unpredictability, whether it be from their homes of origin, their current home, their work environment, or the community at large. These are often causes for a person feeling very fearful and worried. Help a client investigate whether there's a family history of anxiety. Also have a client seek out an appointment with a psychiatrist or their primary care physician in order to make sure that the anxiety is not chemically induced, meaning in their brain. Ultimately, it's up to you as the clinician to help the client investigate their entire environment. You want to make sure the client has no past or current history of substance abuse as well. Help a client realize that it is normal for people to feel scared or worried or fearful at points. But when the client has anxiety that is not functional anxiety, you want to help them investigate when this started occurring. What events are connected to this? Help a client understand the differences between functional anxiety that can get them moving and get things done, and dysfunctional anxiety, which can keep them stalled, keep them ill, especially physically, as well as relationally. Thank you for joining me for this video from Counselor Tips. If you like these videos from Counselor Tips, please give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos from Counselor Tips, please consider subscribing to this channel and turn on the bell. And do me a favor and share this video with a counselor that you think could benefit from it. See you soon.